After the success of Precursor Legacy, Naughty Dog already had plans for their sequel. In 2003, the sequel to Jak and Daxter has been released, Jak II. Just by looking at the cover art of this game, you could tell it looks completely different from the first game. The character designs and the overall tone looks a lot darker and more mature. But despite these big changes, is Jak II still a good follow-up to Jak and Daxter? Let's find out. The story takes place after the first game, where Jak and Yellows get transported to Haven City, a dark-ass city ruled by Baron Proxus. 2 years after getting tortured by Dark Eco, Daxter finds Jak only to find out that he's an edgy fuck now.
I'm gonna kill Praxis!
The story and the gameplay splits into 3 parts: Welcome to Haven City, discovering the truth of Haven City, and taking over Haven City. Throughout the story, you run into characters all around Haven City, and I gotta say, Jak II has some of the best cast of characters in a platformer. You got Torn, the underground leader, Ashlyn, Praxis' daughter, Crew, a dark owner of a bar, Sig, Crew's right-hand man, and so much more. They all have amazing personalities and they're all greatly written. The duo also upgraded in terms of character. Jak has more of a personality and can talk now, and Daxter is funnier than ever.
Now get your squirrely ass out of here.
The overall story is that Jak works with the underground movement to take down Baron Praxis, while Praxis is at war with the Metalhead leader. The story is also full of surprises. You don't really know who the main villain could be. It could be anyone. It could be the Baron, it could be his right-hand man Arrow, it could be Crew's fat ass, hell, it could be this shit. Yeah, it's this shit. The story is highly engaging and very well written. Now let's move on to the gameplay. Unlike the first game, which is a 3D collectathon, Jak II is more so a GTA clone, go around different locations to do certain tasks. While there are some platforming bits here and there, Jak II is more combat driven than the first one. As for the graphics, they've definitely improved when compared to the first game. While the first one is more vibrant and colorful, Jak II is darker and more depressing. The environments and the character models look much better this time around. However, the game's controls are mostly the same, though Jak has some new abilities he can do. Due to the Dark Eco experiments, he has a dark form. With Dark Jak, you can do some combos and you earn some dark abilities as the game continues, like the Dark Bomb. Jak also has some weapons he can use, such as a shotgun, a rifle, an SMG, and a Peacemaker, which is essentially a rocket launcher. Jak also has a jet board, some vehicles used for either transportation or racing, and a mech, which controls like shit unlike the rest of the vehicles. The gameplay is amazing. It's fast-paced and action-packed, on top of greatly designed levels. Though most of the game takes place in Haven City, there are times where you do missions outside the city like the Haven Forest, the sewer, Mars Tomb, and so much more. This game is extremely fun, and it is complemented by the game's soundtrack, which is great. The music is from the range of fast-paced and action-packed to slow and depressing, almost soothing in a way. Hell, there are times where there's no music at all in some levels. So Jak II sounds amazing, right? Yes, 100%. But there's one thing. You know where this is going. If you play Jak II, you all know damn well where this is going. If you haven't, buckle up, because you're gonna be in for a fucking ride. The biggest problem with this game is its unfair difficulty. Now, before you go in the comments and call me a pussy, fuck you by the way, hear me out. I don't mind the difficulty itself, it's what's around it that's an issue. Let me explain. Instead of starting easy and gradually getting hard, Jak II is all over the damn place. You'll get one mission that's brutal, and 2 missions after that is easy as hell. It's a recurring pattern throughout the whole game. The difficulty is hard, easy, hard, easy, hard, easy, and it's confusing as hell. Another thing is its checkpoint system. It's just terrible. If you die, it doesn't matter how far you get, you have to start the entire mission all over again. If you're lucky, it'll give you a checkpoint halfway through the mission, but it's rare that the game will do that. Imagine starting escort missions, mech missions, ambush missions all over again. It's a fucking nightmare. And Jak can only take 8 hits. Yes, that sounds like a lot, but enemies can take 2 or 3 of your hits away from you, meaning you can only take 3 or 4 hits until you die. Combine that with the game barely giving you any health and ammo within the city, and you have the recipe for by far the hardest Jak and Daxter game in the series. And when you beat those hard ass missions, it feels like you've achieved something far greater than the actuality of the achievement. After beating the game, there's not much to do. I mean, you can get all the precursor orbs, which are rare this time around, but they don't do jack shit. All they really do is unlock shit in the cheats menu. That's about it. I mean, concept art also, but Overall, Jak II is a damn good follow-up to Precursor Legacy. Sure, the difficulty spikes and checkpoint systems eat major balls, but everything else was done better than the first Jak and Daxter. The well-written story, the lovable characters, the great graphics, and the really fun gameplay that never has a dull moment. I honestly prefer this style over the original, but the original's overall style is still amazing. I highly recommend this game. Jak II is not only a great sequel, but it took a risk and the payoff was excellent. Alright then, what's next?
I am your father.
What?
I'm your father!
Right, yeah.
Listen to your feelings.
You're not my
No,
father.
seriously, your mother and I...
The epic Jak trilogy is coming to its dramatic conclusion.
Before you were born, obviously.
Rest assured, it won't end like this.